Now, I know that there are many people who are concerned that Donald Trump may become president of the United States. That will not happen.
Feeling the burn. And that may, though, be wishful thinking for Bernie Sanders. He went on to also say that he had offended so many groups here, there was no way possible there'd be a path for a presidency of Donald Trump. But imagine if Trump actually won. Now, I know for a lot of people, still hard to believe there's any way that that could happen. But I want you to take a look at the poll in front of you. This is brand new. It comes out and it shows him leading Hillary by 3 points. That's a national poll. Fox News conducted it. Tight, still margin of error, but Trump is on top. Could he win? You say the math is still against him. How much of this, though, is people who say, this is getting to be just wishful thinking that everything will change once the sunlight is disinfected and everyone will know who he is? Isn't it getting a little late for that?
No. I think the reliance by some on the national poll is a mistake and is misleading. I'll tell you why. Remember Al Gore in 2000 when he ran against George W. Bush? Al Gore won the popular national election. But he lost the presidency. Why? Because there's an electoral college, and those electoral votes are issued by states, depending on the state election results. So here the question is, how are the candidates doing in their respective states, the swing states that will deliver the election? And the ones most talked about, Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, etc., Hillary is ahead. So while
Ohio, in the Rust Belt states, though, Steve, those states are now showing, the recent trending in the last week, that Trump is even, and in some cases even ahead.
Well, the polls
Ohio
I saw this morning, Real Clear Politics, are that she's slightly ahead in all of those places. But more importantly, the point is these national polls, one can get 100% of the vote in these national polls in Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia, and that'll pump up their national numbers. But it doesn't mean that in the swing states, Hillary isn't ahead, because she is slightly ahead.
Figure out why that's true, because it is true. Where Trump is ahead in states, he's really ahead. He's got 60% of the vote in Utah and 60% of the vote in Alabama and 60% of the vote in Texas. The margins Hillary will win by, even in New York and California, aren't as big. So that the margins of victory for Trump, where he's solidly ahead, are bigger than the margins of victory for Hillary, where she's solidly ahead. That's why the national polls, at their worst, even if they're true, are, as Steve points out, not to be taken as a predictive of an electoral college election.
Hang on 1 second. Because, first of all, there is a linkage between the national polls and the standing in swing states and in individual states. If you got a 2 or 3 point boost in the national polls, that tends to raise your numbers 2 or 3 points in most of the swing states and most of the individual states as well. There is a general linkage to it. There has historically been a general linkage to it.
It won't get truer.
Yes, because it was true the first time. I'm at 100%. It doesn't need to get truer. Second of all, this recent poll was, the Fox News poll is a little bit flawed. It's skewed, it's sampling too many Republicans, and it's a bit of an outlier. Clinton seems to still have about a 4 or 5 point lead. But you asked your overall thesis, can Trump actually win this election? You bet he can. And all it takes is a big news, big international news, more headlines like the one we just talked about in the first segment, trouble for Hillary Clinton, a gaffe or something untoward from Bill Clinton. There are a number of things that could hand this election to Donald Trump.
Yes. The only argument I'd make is, and this isn't from the heart, this is from the head, we have not seen an election, regardless of which candidate, where a candidate can get all the way through to November without answering questions specifically, whether it's a 60 Minutes interview, whether it's something as a throwaway walk with Katie Couric and talking about what newspapers you read or whatever else. At some point you're going to get exposed. Now maybe the public won't still care, but I think for the 10 to 15%, I think it's a bigger undecided population, frankly, than in recent elections, because a lot of people don't like Hillary, and I get that. I don't think he does well when the lights are brightest, but we'll find out. Dominic, if the Clinton campaign says, all right, we got 2 choices here. We got a lot of money. We make this a street fight, and we get down as dirty as he is. And today Donald Trump accused Bill Clinton of rape. You can't exaggerate that. He literally went there. They say, forget outsourcing this. We're going to go there too. We're going to go everywhere. And you know what they find if they dig on Trump. Are they better off doing that, or are they better off saying somebody's got to look presidential to that 10 or 15% that haven't made up their mind? And you know what? We'll keep waiting because he's going to put foot in mouth. He hasn't gone a week without doing it.
The foot and mouth thing is not going to work. He puts his foot in his mouth just about once a week. Voters don't care. It's as simple as that. You're focusing on this 15%. Right now, you ask, could he win? I am telling you, as I've been saying all along, there's a strong possibility he's the next president of the United States. People don't like Hillary Clinton, and no matter what she does, I don't see a scenario where she can out-Trump Trump right now.
You can do both things, Richard. You can leave her alone and have other folks
Surrogates, yep.
do it, which is the way to do it. A, it needs to be brought out, and B, she cannot out-Trump Trump, as what's his name said a minute ago. Sorry, no, sorry.
You know what is true though? He's mad that Trump has to completely neutralize Bill Clinton.
He hasn't. He's managed to reinforce with people who care about those behavioral issues what they already thought. People who want an economy that works remember Bill Clinton fondly.
But aren't you preaching to the choir that converted already?
Both sides are. Who's in the middle? The great lesson of this year has been that it's not about the chattering class. It's not about the political class. It's not about the debates. It's about voters in some mysterious incarnation changing the rules that they apply to who they're going to choose. That's the change.
Can I make another point about Donald Trump? You know, he won, is about to be declared the winner of the Republican convention and the nominee of the Republican Party for president. My numbers as of today say that he received 15.9 million votes in his primaries. 15.9. Hillary and Bernie have 23.2 million primary voters so far. There are more registered Democrats in America than there are registered Republicans. And for that 10 or 15% or more in the middle, we've got a long way to go yet to out-Trump Donald Trump, and wait to see what additional things he says, as you suggest, that might be just so utterly outrageous that as much as they have real troubles with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton brand these days, they don't want to hand the nuclear device over to Donald so he decides, well, how do I feel today? Do I want to press the button? Do I want to declare war? Do I want to send a missile against North Korea, Iran, Russia, China? The world is a very complex, dangerous place. And I believe that if that 10 or 15% in the middle and maybe more Americans start to ponder the seriousness of the office of president in a dangerous world, the numbers may shift dramatically.
Richard, she's got to fight back in the mud, just like Donald Trump. If she does not, the public is assuming and believing everything that he is saying is accurate. If she does not fight back and she tries to look presidential, she's going to lose. And it won't even be close.
Back, or can somebody on her team?
Surrogates can't do. This guy will. He's going to go to.
So she has to wait. And I know I'm heavy, Larry. Real quickly, you think she has to legitimize what he said about her husband being a rapist?
No. She's got to throw equal mud at him. And I'm not talking about no tax return. I'm talking about Donald Trump. How dare you call my husband a rapist? Look at what you look at.
You're a rapist
yeah,
too?
what else is she going to do?
Oh,
if she takes the high road, she's going to lose.
Interesting.
Not true.
All right.
all wrong.
It's not just problems that we thought a month ago about a fractured Republican Party. How about the Democrats? Is Bernie willing to burn down the party to save it? Well, before you dismiss it, sure sounds like he's willing to do that. We'll talk about that after this.